Welcome to the Infor CRM mobile development series. This is part 1. We're going to get your development environment set up and some third-party tools, and we'll go ahead and explain some of the processes that we use for mobile development. So let's get started. First thing we're going to want to do is install Nodejs. So you're going to want to go to nodejs.org and install the latest. I recommend the LTS release. You're free to use current as well. LTS stands for long-term support. It's their more stable release. Once you install that, you're just going to want to make sure that Node.js is on your command line. So you're going to want to open a command prompt and just type in node -- version and make sure that's the version you installed from the website. Next up, we're going to want to install Git. If you don't want to use the command line version, you're free to use source tree or another graphical client as well. Go ahead and install that, and that is going to add Git to your command prompt. The third tool is called Yarn. So you're going to go to yarnpkg.com, yarnpackage.com. And you're going to want to click this banner. We're going to want to go to the classic version. So it's classic.yarnpackage.com. So go ahead and click that and go ahead and install it. So like the others, that's also going to add a yarn command. The fourth one and the final one is Grunt. This is a JavaScript task runner the mobile team uses. And if you go to gruntjs.com, and then there's a documentation link you can click up here, and it'll tell you how to install the CLI. So you're going to want to run this command. So we'll go ahead and do that. npm install -g, which is global, and then grunt CLI. Now that those are installed, we're going to go ahead and clone the mobile source code. So the Infor CRM mobile client is open source. It's under the Apache 2 license. So we're going to go to GitHub, the Sales Logics organization, and then there's an Argos SDK repository. So we're going to start here. We're on the development branch. At the current time of this video, we're working on the 4.1 release. So all the 4.1 code that we're working on is going to be under the development branch. So we're going to go ahead and hit clone. We're going to copy that URL. And then we're going to go ahead and set up a directory where we want to clone this. So I have a code folder in my C drive. So I'm going to go ahead and go there. And then I'm going to go, if you have Git command line installed, I'm going to open a Git bash here. If you have another program, you can go ahead and clone it into a folder of your choice. So we're going to go git clone, and we're going to paste in that URL. That's done. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a folder called products. That's a sibling of this one. So we're going to go ahead and go new folder products. And we're going to go into that folder, and we're going to go to the second repository under the Sales Logics organization on GitHub, and this one's called Argos Sales Logics. We're going to copy that. Same thing, it's the development branch. The Argos SDK and Argos Sales Logics branches typically stay in sync. So we're going to open a Git bash. We're going to run git clone, and we're going to paste in that URL. All right. Now that those are both installed, we're going to go ahead and install the Node.js dependencies. So we're going to go, I'm going to hold Shift in Explorer, right click, open a PowerShell window here. I'm in Argos SDK. And we're just going to run yarn. It's going to read the yarn lock file, and it's going to install all the dependencies for the project. And you're going to see a node modules folder show up. That'll be a folder of all the dependencies that we use. That is finished. So now we're going to go ahead and run yarn run build. Okay, that's complete. So now we're going to go into the products folder and we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to run yarn. And yarn run build. In later lessons, we'll explain what the yarn run build is doing. It has to do with the source and the source out folder. But for now, we can skip that. We're going to go ahead and open your favorite editor. We're going to open the Argo Sales Logics folder. And we want to configure the development server. So we're going to copy this default.config.json in the scripts folder as config.json. So we're going to go ahead and copy and then paste, and then we'll rename it to config.json. This file is ignored by Git. That's why we copy and just rename it. And then it doesn't show up when you run git status. So in this file, you just want to basically configure the port that the development server is going to run on, and then your SData host. So I have SData running locally, so I'm going to put in localhost. It's on port 80. If you have a shared SData server or something like that, you can go ahead and plug that host name in here. And we're going to save it. We're going to go back to the command line, and we're going to run yarn run start. This is going to start the development server on port 8000 or whatever you configure here. So now we should be able to open up your web browser, localhost 8000. By default, directory browsing is on, and the root directory is the directory where you cloned Argos SDK. So we're going to go into products, Argo Sales Logics, and there's a index development index-dev.html that you want to open up. Now that this is opened up, it looks like it's successful. We want to make sure, so we're just going to hit F12 in the development console, make sure there's no errors. We want to look at the network tab, and we're going to go ahead and try to log in. Get current user might take a while depending on if your SData server has been loaded for the day, whether it's cached. Sometimes the .NET precompile step takes a while. All right, so there's no errors in the network tab. We're logged in. Let's go back to the console tab, and still no errors. So we're good. We're set up. We're ready to go. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.